When you're looking to move abroad, negotiation skills with your future employer are essential. But all too often, economic migrants from Pakistan fail to negotiate properly. And I want to talk about some of the biggest mistakes Pakistanis do when they move abroad. One, they don't know they can and they should negotiate. Departments often lowball candidates on the first offer because, wait for it, they expect you to negotiate your salary or benefits packages. Between 50 to 85% of companies anticipate that new hires will negotiate their beginning pay. But all too often, new arrivals often don't negotiate and advocate for themselves. So first of all, know that salary negotiations are an actual expected onboarding process. The second mistake that Pakistanis often do when they move abroad is they don't confront their discomfort. Two factors that often dissuade people from negotiations are feelings of uncertainty as to what to do and being uncomfortable talking about money. The third mistake is people are not direct. So don't think about takalluf, okay? In negotiations, new economic migrants tend to be more indirect when asking for things. Migrants also set lower goals and are satisfied with less. You need to change that. Fourthly, you don't go in looking at alternatives or trade-offs. People negotiation with employers need to look at alternatives and trade-offs. What do I mean by that? Before even starting a negotiation, it's important to establish in your own mind what alternatives and trade-offs you might be willing to consider. When you feel empowered by alternatives and multiple options, you're able to eliminate the fear that often seeps into the negotiation process. Some of those viable alternatives might include trying to generate another job offer, lining up another interview, taking a I'm the buyer approach to the negotiation. Another problem is being too eager. Remember, you're not a fuel serf, you are negotiating for a job. Beware of sounding and acting too eager from the very first contact, letters or resume and phone calls, all the way through the interview and negotiating process. Adopt the attitude that the company is lucky to get you. Another mistake is being too nice. Instead, be bold. Don't make the mistake of failing to negotiate out of fear of hurting the relationship they have built with their interviewer and potential employer. Do not make the mistake of thinking negotiation will anger your interviewer. Another mistake is not focusing on what you are giving the employer. Often, new economic migrants focus less on what they are giving the employer than what the employer is giving them. They already see the employer as providing so much that they're willing to settle for smaller salaries or smaller packages. So when negotiating, focus on what you are offering the employer, not on how the position will advance your career. Another mistake is don't start off in the hole. Often new economic migrants from Pakistan do not negotiate a higher salary to begin with. So as a result, raises and bonuses compounded or computed by percentages are smaller as well. The problem feeds off itself, and the wage gap between new arrivals and indigenous people only continues to grow larger over time. So don't make the mistake of thinking a low salary will eventually catch up to whatever you deserve. And finally, don't take negotiations personally. Remember, it's about business, so detach your emotions from the conversation. If you want to find out more about negotiations, as well as life in the West, and not how to survive but to thrive in the West, click on the link below.